Me, 26F, and my friend, 26M, hooked up and he won't tell his girlfriend, 27F. Background. Me and this guy have been really struggling during the pandemic, and we developed a very close friendship because of it. We saw each other very often and often confided in each other things we were going through at the time. Over the span of a few months, most of his issues came to be about his relationship. They had been together for about a year and a half, and there seemed to be a lot of problems, mainly with incompatibility and different needs in the relationship. I would offer him advice and support the best I could, but even so, his relationship still seemed to be deteriorating quickly. Then things got kind of weird. I don't have anything concrete to cite, but the vibe between us changed just slightly. Nothing actually happened, but his tone almost seemed flirty. Sometimes I'd catch him just staring at me. Then, one night, after a particularly difficult conversation with his girlfriend, we talked over some drinks. He was drinking a lot more than usual, and I stupidly tried to keep up with him. We ended up messy and drunk, and ended up in this strange back and forth of escalatingly bad decisions, which resulted in sex. We were both shocked at ourselves when it was over, and he seemed to agree that what we had done was wrong. He went home, and after some thought, told me that he wants to fix things with his girlfriend, and we should both just pretend it never happened. It's been some time since then, and I don't know if I can do it. I've spoken to his girlfriend a few times since this all happened and I just feel so guilty. He insists that just keeping it a secret will cause the least amount of damage, and that he will just try to be a better partner to her. I don't agree with this. I've told a couple friends separate from the situation and they both think I should tell his girlfriend. Whenever I try to tell him that he should come clean, he gets angry and defensive, and often brings up that he feels I initiated it, and he only went along, which is not true. I'm torn. I know telling his girlfriend will be the end of our friendship, and possibly the end of their relationship. I really believe that she deserves to know the truth. But, he's making me doubt myself. By telling her, am I just bringing on a fallout that could have been avoided entirely? Destroying a relationship that could have been fixed? And if I do tell her, do I tell him about it first, or do I go behind his back? What do I even say to her? I guess what I'm asking is this: is lying ever the ethical choice, or is honesty always the best policy? What do I do? Too long did not read. My friend and I hooked up, he cheated and thinks we should keep it secret so that he can fix his relationship with her. You hooked up with him when you knew he had a girlfriend and now want to claim high ground? You are as guilty as he is. But the relationship is between them. What a pathetic post. You're attempting to take high ground when you hooked up knowing he had a girlfriend. You're just as bad as he is. She deserves the right to choose to be in a relationship with who he is, not who he has tricked her into thinking he is. The relationship he wants to fix doesn't exist anymore, because that was an exclusive committed relationship. What he's doing now is trying to keep her from realizing what type of relationship they actually have, which is never an ethical choice. Reach out to her, tell her what happened, apologize without making excuses, and answer any questions she has. Be prepared for her to end things with one, both, or neither of you, and accept whichever choice she makes. Try not to do this type of thing again. That he feels I initiated it, and he only went along, which is not true. Even if not the case, you're trying to paint yourself as being a good person. You knew he was in a relationship and went forward with this. Spare that girl and tell her what happened. If you have proof, show that too. Tell her. You both are terrible. You had sex with him, and being drunk is not an acceptable reason. I would suggest telling his girlfriend cause she deserves to know. You are no saint here. I think you should cut contact with him before you commit further damage. Give him a deadline to tell her and tell her, anonymously, if he doesn't. You knew they were having problems and continued pushing the boundaries of your relationship with him. Sounds a bit devious if you ask me. Edit. Not original to blame alcohol. I don't even understand why you're hesitating. Tell the girl the truth and don't waste her time anymore. She deserves someone better than you as a friend and better than him as a BF. 100% tell his girl. Keeping it a secret causes the most damage, and no matter what's going on in their relationship, she deserves to know. You initiated it and he just went along with it? You both are guilty and delusional. Tell the girlfriend, she deserves better than both you and him. He has made it very clear he won't tell her. You can do the bare minimum here after sleeping with her boyfriend and tell her it happened. You would want to know if you were her in this situation. Look mate, chances are, if you're any sort of decent, it's all fairly doomed no matter what. What I mean is, Either you're going to blow up their relationship, you're going to out your friend, or you're going to be living a lie. Pick what you can live with out of yourself. My personal pick would be anonymously informing the GF, so you aren't necessarily pulling him out of the closet, and then fucking off to live your life and forget about them both. Tell her, you two effed up and you have the responsibility to let her know. You got used. His relationship was never as bad as he made it sound to you because he wanted you to feel bad and feel like you had a shot at something with him. Tell her and then just get out of their lives. You and him are both cheaters and liars. You both cultivated this thing. It didn't just happen because you were drunk. When you began to notice these changes in him, why didn't you distance yourself like a dissent person would? You liked the attention. At no time did you think about her, and now that he's rejecting any possibility of a relationship with you, you are suddenly overcome with guilt? Redeem yourself by being honest with her and then just walk away. Getting a vibe from this post that you wanted him and didn't care. The only reason you want the girlfriend to know is because you're deluded into thinking you two will be together. He's a pos too, but don't think anyone is buying your ACCT. Shame on you both. You're both shitty people who will get what's coming. Please, I beg you to tell her. If that results in the end of their relationship, then so be it, but at least she will have all the information. It will most likely be the end of your friendship, but you're probably better off without a guy like that in your life. If you respect her as a woman, tell her. If you respect yourself, tell her, apologize, get some therapy, move on, and remember that even drunk choices are your responsibility to own and fix. When they go low, we go high. Take back your power and fix this shit. Listen, she needs to know. But also, this guy is a shitty friend. He spent plenty of time crying on your shoulder, had sex with you, won't listen to what you want, and is trying to blame it all on you. So yeah, you'll lose his friendship, but that's not a loss you'll miss for long. Give him a time limit. He has 2 weeks to tell his girlfriend or you tell her. Don't hang out with him anymore, cut contact with him. Women should be supporting each other, but you did one of the worst things you can do to another woman. You don't even sound like you feel guilty at all. If you really felt guilty, you wouldn't have been flirting with him and speaking ill of his girlfriend with him. You made a series of really bad choices that you knew would hurt this woman and now want to tell her after you had sex with her boyfriend. Seek therapy and become a better person, or it will all catch up to you. So you knew he was in a relationship and banged him anyway? Now you want to nuke his relationship? You both suck. The only reason you want to tell the girlfriend is because you feel guilty. You think telling her will stop the guilt and don't mind ruining your friendship and their relationship. Give it a try if you want, but don't pretend it's about morals and it's the best thing for the girlfriend. Tell the girlfriend and then get together with your friend, so there are 2 less cheaters in the dating pool. Win-win for everyone. You're just as pathetic as he is. You need to tell her and grow a pair. Tell her because that shit pile is gonna blow up regardless. Might as well come clean so you don't look like an asshole about it. She deserves to know. This is all pretty gross. You shouldn't care about salvaging a friendship with someone who was so willing to sleep with you when he had a girlfriend. That's not a good person, and it doesn't matter if substances were involved. If he won't tell her, you should. At least do one decent thing here. Your first mistake was putting yourself in a position where sex was possible with someone you knew was struggling in their relationship. I feel like neither one of you has any respect for his girlfriend, and you both need to learn how to put proper boundaries in place. There's no excuse for home wrecking or cheating, which is exactly what you both did. Your relationship became inappropriate before you had sex with him, and yet you both continued. That poor girl. I can't help but think you are secretly hoping you telling her will break them up. Just let me say this: if that is the case, if he cheated on her, he will likely cheat on you. The most moral option for you here is to distance yourself. Y'all both made a mistake that needs to result in the dissolution of this friendship. You two made the decision together to have sex despite him being in a relationship. Telling the girlfriend is not your responsibility. Tell the girlfriend, then hopefully she dumps the boyfriend and tells you to do one as well, as neither of you deserve her. You and your friend are both scumbags of the highest order. I think you should end your relationship with him. You are the liar. Your feelings do not belong in their business. This is your shame. LMAO, get off your high horse, you're just as guilty as him. Stop saying, "ended up," like this was some horrible circumstance and happened to you, a poor innocent bystander. You didn't end up fucking another girl's boyfriend, you chose to do it. Both of you did. Tell this poor girl so she can decide for herself whether she wants to stay with a cheater, and stay friends with a home wrecker. You don't get to claim the high ground here when you actively engaged in an emotional affair with this person and then slept with him knowing he and his relationship were vulnerable. You're both disgusting. Please use this as a learning experience and never do this again. Your friendship with him was over when you guys hooked up. There's no salvaging it. If you want, you could give him an ultimatum and say that if he doesn't tell her by the end of the week, you will tell her yourself. But honestly, I think you should just do it yourself. Stop inserting yourself in their problems. You should have lost his number the day after you slept with him. So you took advantage of a drunk dude. I regret not telling the girlfriend of my friend after we hooked up. Tell him that you will tell her if he doesn't and then follow through. She deserves to know. You also need to walk away from this guy. Because he is not your friend. You will be better off. Take my word for it. Tell her. If you don't tell this poor girl, you'll be the biggest scum along with him. The friendship ended when you two hooked up. Now you have an obligation to tell the only innocent party what happened. First of all, tell the GF. Second, you should be ashamed of yourself. You trying to preach about ethical choices when you fucked a taken dude. Your tone is so chill, you don't even sound like you believe the guilt you are seemingly describing in this post. Now tell the GF. I can't believe you would prioritize a friendship over a girl who thinks that the man she is with loves her and will never cheat on her. Absolutely ridiculous behavior. At least the girlfriend finds out his true colors early on. Okay, home wrecker. Even if a relationship has problems, you don't cheat. Why would you want to be friends with someone who cheats on their GF? Just so you know, it is reflective of you as a person and shows how little you care that you are an affair partner, because even before you were physical you were a part of an emotional affair. The only innocent one here is the girlfriend. You two are both a-holes, and no matter what, your relationship is toast. You might as well go nuclear. At the end of the day, the truth is the truth, and everyone deserves to know the truth so that they can make their own decisions. What you need to do is leave them both alone. Cut contact. You're clearly not his GF's friend, and you're not this guy's platonic buddy either. If the girlfriend reaches out to ask why you're not friends anymore, you can tell her, but you can't tell her, as a friend, that you slept with her boyfriend. Boyfriend gave you his answer already, he didn't choose you. Now you need space from him because you need that boundary back in your life. You need to be the bigger person and come forward. Obviously it is much easier said than done, but prioritizing the two relationships over honesty is unbelievably selfish and is wrong. She needs to know the truth, and you need to be ready to deal with the repercussions of your actions. Being drunk isn't quite an excuse for your actions, but she may understand to a degree. However, deliberately retaining the truth and holding out just makes it so much worse. Don't rely on him to come forward and tell her. You need to just get this off your chest so you two can move on. She deserves to know. Wow. Pretty scummy of both of you. At least you have enough decency to want to tell her, and you should. Tell her, stop talking to him because he's scum, and if you can't see that he is scum, maybe you are truly scum yourself, to be honest. But being a shitty person is a choice you can change. And learn from it and be a better person in the future. Don't have emotional affairs with other women's dudes anymore. That's what led down the road to sex. The friendship you had even before the sex was probably inappropriate. Especially if he was confiding in you about his relationship. I can't believe when people think that shit is okay. You both were perfectly okay with going behind the GF's back and fucking each other, right? So it shouldn't be a problem to go behind his back and tell her everything. Also, don't try to get out of this by saying you were drunk. Both of you are equally responsible. Terrible people. You're terrible. So, you're a cheater too. Who wants to be with someone who also cheats? Guess what he's going to do to you? Yep, he'll fuck some other lady in time too.